Recording has started.
Good morning, all, again, and at 10:14, we're calling to order the Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, April 8th. It is 10:14. We're going to look for any public comment for items not appearing on our agenda. Is there any public comment at this time? Seeing none, we will accept public comment as each item is under consideration. Is there a motion to approve the Thursday, March 25th meeting minutes for the Board of Commissioners?
Motion to approve the minutes from March 25th.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion has carried. Okay. For COVID-19 planning and response, just to check with Margaret, do we have anything for this item today?
Nothing for this item today.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move into personnel items, and we have an item for our CYS office, which would be the consideration of the approval of personnel requisition for full-time caseworker 2. Is there a motion to approve the requisition?
Motion to approve the personnel requisition for a full-time caseworker 2 in Children and Youth Services.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The motion has carried. We have 6 items for our correctional facility, and we'll turn it over to the warden to see if you wanted to make any comments for any of these, warden.
The only comment I have is for the mental health counselor position, which was approved back in for budget of 2020. Of course, COVID-19 happened, and we're still battling through that. We're at a point that we'd like to proceed forward with this and advertise it and see what we can bring into our facility as a good counselor for this position, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ward. Yeah, very, very important position. As we talked about in previous budgets, budget discussions, and also in many of our public meetings, the recognition that mental health at the correctional facility is always something that we're going to be working with and dealing with, and to have this kind of focus really would just enhance the services you're providing. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what kind of candidates we get and going from there. But any other questions, comments on any of the correctional facility items before we look for a motion for all 6?
Just very happy to see that we're moving forward with the mental health counselor position. It took a little bit of work to get that into the budget, but definitely glad it's there, and definitely glad we're going to hopefully have somebody soon to assist our returning citizens.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Any other, please?
No, I'm good. I'm all good.
Okay, all right. We look for a motion for those 6 items for the correctional facility.
Motion to approve the 6 items for the correctional facility.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion, questions, or comments? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion has carried. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, moving into our elections office, we have 11 items there. 9 of those items are for the appointment of individuals who, in the 2020 general election, had worked in the elections office, either at the satellite elections office at the Bryce Jordan Center and or here at the Willowbank building, helping to answer phone calls and do other tasks, prepare for that election. So we'd be bringing 9 people back into this position. We also are changing the job description to better reflect the duties, and the elections office staff weighed in on some changes. And so again, this just essentially has it so that, and we're going to include this in the budget for future budgets, but anytime the elections office would need a few extra helping hands, again, mainly around processing of vote by mail ballots and fielding voter calls, this would just allow us to bring people in. We are going to, again, not work all these folks a lot. We're going to just have them on hand in case we would need them as ballots increase and decrease as we go throughout the election season. So would be happy to answer any questions on any of these items, but just wanted to give some context as we go through that.
This is a good idea, Mike. That's a department where the workload fluctuates massively, and it's great to be developing a good bench of people who are able to help us when we need them, but we don't have to have them on the payroll the other 90% of the time.
Very much agreed. And one of the things we're going to be, we're not doing this year, as we talked about on Tuesday at the elections board meeting, and we're going to finalize today, is we won't have a satellite elections office. However, we still need to provide the opportunity for people to request and vote a over-the-counter, what they're calling an over-the-counter vote by mail ballot. And so we still need to provide that at the Willow Bank. And by having additional individuals here that can process those applications, it allows the election office full-time folks to do what they need to do so that we can still provide that service to voters. So looking forward to seeing how it goes. And again, we'll be reporting back on this as we go forward. So if there's no other questions, we can look for a motion for these 11 items.
Motion to approve the 11 items for the Elections Department.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on this? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Okay. And then we will turn it back to Norm to see if you have anything here, Norm, for these 4 positions in your office.
The only thing I'd like to add is we're asking to hire Lucas Morningstar. He's currently a part-time dispatcher at Huntington County looking for full-time employment. So we're really hoping that his training time shortened from his experience and get him on board and get him working. And then again, Jess is leaving, Jessica Zimmerman's leaving here to go to Penn State, and it's just replacing her position. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Norm. Any questions on any of these 4 items? Okay, hearing none, we look for a motion.
Motion to approve the 4 items for emergency communications 911.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Thanks again, Norm. Okay, and then moving into public defender, Dave, we had heard about these 2 items here, so I think we're just going to be looking for a motion to approve these 2 items.
Motion to approve the 2 items for public defender.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The motion has carried. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dave. For our row office personnel items, we want to note that the Prothonotary has approved the personnel requisition for full-time first deputy Prothonotary. For the sheriff's office, the sheriff has approved the personnel requisition for an on-call occasional security officer and also the personnel requisition for a part-time 40% security officer. Moving into the non-personnel items, we have one for our elections office, which would be an agreement with Pitney Bowes for the purchase of a Relay 3500 folder inserter, and this would also include years 2 through 5 of the equipment maintenance. We discussed this at the elections board meeting on Tuesday of this week, and it was moved to recommend to the Board of Commissioners to approve the agreement with Pitney Bowes, and so we'd look for a motion to approve the agreement with Pitney Bowes today. And again, this is 100% funded by grant funds.
Motion to approve the agreement with Pitney Bowes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
The motion has carried. Okay. Do we have any other discussion items that we needed to go over today? Anybody like to add anything to the agenda? Okay, hearing none. Any executive sessions to report today, Mark?
No executive sessions to report.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we would allow the opportunity for any questions from the press. Okay, seeing no questions at this time, we would look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn at 10:23.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor of adjourning do so by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all.